I'm Dale Rockwood, and I was elected the president of the Farm Bureau in 1969. I served two two-year terms and went out in 73.
The Rockwoods have been members of Farm Bureau since 1948.
When Sharon and I got married, her dad was county president, and he put us right into the Farm Bureau in 1948. I have had lifetime experience in Farm Bureau.
Rockwood is best known for introduction of a policy amendment he proposed during a long meeting of Farm Bureau leaders.
And the meeting went on, and pretty soon the guys started to fidget, and I thought, well, now we better have a break, and we'll call it the Rockwood Amendment. And they voted on it, and it was unanimous. And it carried on through. After that, when they wanted to break, they just called for the Rockwood Amendment.
While president, Rockwood also led Farm Bureau efforts to counter the impacts of the Endangered Species Act on farmers and ranchers. Water rights was another issue the Rockwood administration became involved in, and the implementation of the Farm Bureau Young Farmers and Ranchers program in Idaho was mentored by Rockwood.
And that's one thing that I really convinced was worthwhile, and that was the Young Farmers and Ranchers. That's a great program.
Political activism also became an important part of Farm Bureau under Rockwood's leadership.
Of course, we got out and campaigned for them too, which made a difference. If they had the back in the Farm Bureau, then they had a pretty good chance of making it.
About 10 years after the Federation formed in 1939, an insurance company was created to offer affordable insurance to farmers and ranchers. A big reason for 75 years of success, according to Rockwood.
One of the big things that happened to Farm Bureau now is the insurance company, and that provided the finance for a lot of the programs that we got into in Farm Bureau.
Dale Rockwood says Farm Bureau is a family organization. Wife Sharon agrees.
When I was president, I tried to make it at all the county banquets, and sometimes I'd get to visit and stay late. I'd sleep and she'd drive me home. So it was a family deal.
Oscar Field served as president of the Idaho Farm Bureau from 1973 to 83. Alongside Oscar was Frances, a devoted wife and community leader in her own right. She recalls the beginning of her lifetime involvement with Farm Bureau.
Well, I was telling you that Pete Rathbone and Roger Howard came out to Grandview. And that's been 66 years ago that I went to Grandview. And they came out about the first or second year we were out there. And they were the ones who organized it out there. But we didn't have any we didn't really have any cattlemen much. We had a few, but not a lot. They were mostly just strictly farmers.
Frances served as a state legislator for over 20 years, and she says Farm Bureau was a much-needed organization because farming left little time for much more than day-to-day duties around the farm or ranch.
Well, we needed it because people were too busy to pay any attention to anything like that. They were trying to make a living. You see, I lived through 3 of those really bad depressions during my lifetime. And they weren't thinking about a lot of those other things. But the organization, I think getting to know those people from back in the Midwest, I think that really helped us a lot. Because we saw what they were doing, and then it made it so we could sort of pattern after theirs to do those kind of things too.
The memories are all good, says Frances, now 95 years young.
We sing. Every time we had a meeting, we sang. And when we went on the tour with Utah, when we went to see the islands, all of those, and that was Secretary of Agriculture Butts' birthday, why, we had a big party there, and so I organized all of these guys, and we had a dance as well. Frank Priestley was a young farmer rancher when I first came. And we had a monthly paper then, so Oscar had to write a monthly thing. So he'd come out and say, I want this and this and this and this and this and this. And guess who got to help him write the thing?
Oscar and Frances traveled the world while serving Farm Bureau, all for the good of Idaho producers.
Oscar went to Libya 3 times. He went to Mexico several times. He went to Japan. He went all over, and I think he did more traveling that way to help out farmers.
Francis says it's been an honor to have been involved with Idaho Farm Bureau dating back 66 years.
It's been an honor for me to belong to the Farm Bureau. It's been a place where we could express ourselves. We could have somebody else that felt the same way we did about our occupation. We weren't looked down on it, we were looked up at. And we tried to do everything we could to keep America safe, to keep America well fed, and to have them be proud of us as well.
Tom Geary, a potato farmer from Cassia County, served as the 12th president of the Idaho Farm Bureau. Elected in 1984, Geary served until 1997.
I guess the first thing that I think about for the 75 years that we've been in business here in Idaho and Farm Bureau is the fact that Farm Bureau represents all of agriculture. And as I was told by Senator Darrington, that unless you have a seat at the table, you don't have much opportunity to do much or have much influence over legislation and things that go on in Boise. And so I think that the Farm Bureau has certainly filled that position well over the many years that we've been in business and representing agriculture and looking out for the interests of agriculture and farmers and all the industry that's engaged in the business of producing food.
Geary guided Farm Bureau through many important issues: endangered species, international marketing and NAFTA implementation, and water in Idaho.
I'm also concerned about, and have been for many years, about the water situation that we have in Idaho, and that's one of the big issues that's been going on for a number of years and still is. I think water is certainly a limiting factor in what development can happen here in Idaho, whether it's manufacturing or building additional homes and population, or these all take water, and if they're going to take it, they're going to take it away from agriculture. And
we got a pretty good vote of confidence because they supported on what we did.
After a lifetime of involvement in Farm Bureau, Geary still smiles about the grassroots of the organization and how even the little guy can benefit from Farm Bureau membership.
You know, lots of times we have individual problems and people will just think, well, you know, I'm just a little guy in the backwoods here, there's nothing I can do about it, even though it's, you know, something that should be done. And to realize that you can take your problems to a county organization and develop a policy there and then take it to the state organization and have the support of the entire state to proceed with that particular policy and program that you'd like to work with. And then even go to the national organization. We got tremendous influence as a national organization.
Tom Geary also served on the national level and visited the Oval Office on a trip to Washington.
Well, that was really a choice experience to visit President Reagan in the Oval Office. And of course, I was on the board of directors of the American Farm Bureau organization, and we were back there with the meeting of the American Farm Bureau and had the opportunity to go to the Oval Office there and shake hands with the president and visit with him and have our picture taken in the Oval Office. That's quite an honor in itself. And
Geary currently resides in Albion, where cattle ranching keeps him busy.
How important do you think Farm Bureau is to these ranchers and farmers out here in terms of having a voice and standing up to the government?
Well, in my opinion, they are the only farmer organization that really stands up toe-to-toe with them and fights the issues that is vital to the ranching and farming industry.